Senator Marsha Blackburn is our senator right here in Tennessee. So she's my gal, and I'm happy to see her getting off of the Epstein trivial QAnon stuff and stay on the number one issue, which is the human trafficking on our southern border. And she just smears Schumer here for covering up for Mayorkas being the formal protector of trafficking in America. Unprecedented numbers, not even close. The last 3 years under Biden, he started this business. We covered it in Dr. Phil show already. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. I hope you subscribe if you want to hear some of our hard-hitting news. We cover all kinds of subjects, but I try and stay focused on the big subjects. I try to reward Republicans for staying on the big subjects. And then, of course, going after Chuck Schumer, human trafficker of the human trafficking party. Do you vote for them? You're part of the human trafficking problem.
And what we saw happen here today is a violation of our oath. The oath that we take, that we are going to abide by the Constitution.
Oh, she still thinks the Democrats care about the Constitution. I love when politics still pretend.
Article 1, Section 2, which lays out the process of impeachment for the House of Representatives. And then Section 3 of that Constitution lays out the duty of the Senate.
Oh, that's in Chuck Schumer's, the majority leader of the Senate. He has a duty. And Marsha Blackburn's, her biggest argument that she's using against Chuck Schumer is Chuck Schumer from 2019 trying to impeach Trump. She's brilliant. Good strategy.
Chuck Schumer, this was during the Trump impeachment in 2019. Now, Chuck Schumer, who's currently the majority leader, basically made a full-time job of talking about how the Senate had to do their constitutional duty to hold a trial.
Okay, so now that the House has sent over Mayorkas to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas, let's see, what does Chuck Schumer say now? Where's the responsibilities? Like, move on, nothing to see here. So just so you realize, when a Democrat says the Constitution wants this or that, just remember they're lying. They're always lying. And if you vote for them, you're voting for them to lie, to cover up, to keep from prosecuting.
A responsibility. Now, we have to say what has changed between 2019, 2020, and today. Well, of course, we know what changed for Chuck Schumer because he's desperate to hold on to the majority in this House.
He wants to stay in power, and he doesn't want this very unpopular decision to be voted on in public.
And he did not want some of the senators who are highly contested in their races to have to take a vote on the Mayorkas impeachment. Why is that, Madam President? It is because the number one issue with the American people is that open southern border.
Schumer knows what the problem is with his party, and he's covering for it, that southern border. He has to protect that, keep you and me from being able to vote on it and hold him accountable.
It is Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas repeatedly lied, repeatedly stood before the American people, stood before us in hearings and committees and said, the border is secure.
They do not report on what's going on at the border, especially trafficking that our tax dollars are paying for and you are voting for. If you're a Democrat, you are for the greatest human suffering in the world today. Your entire party defends. That's what you vote for. And I'm saying this specifically to the minorities, Hispanic minorities, African-American minorities, Jewish minorities. I'm looking at you. Why is it that you vote for this like over 50%, sometimes in the 80%? Are these your values? All because you were dumb enough to believe the left when they said Trump's a racist and black people hate him. And Mexicans hate him. They hate that guy.
Cartels have turned human trafficking in this country from a $500 million a year industry. Over the last 3.5 years, it has become a 13 billion with the B.
In the last 3 years, Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas, the only jobs they appear to be creating are in the cartels trafficking business in America. That seems to be the only jobs they're capable of making, guys. Elections have consequences. And you know what? To my Democrat friends, you'll all vote the same. You'll all vote the same again.
And then the child gets sent back. That is disgusting. But because of Biden and Mayorkas and the open border, that is what is happening.
This is your team, not mine. You know, I say kick him to the curb. I say kick him out. I say throw Chuck Schumer in jail and Alejandro Mayorkas and President Joe Biden. This is your business. You, California, have an obligation to hold Biden to the same account. Biden is the cause. Mayorkas is the cause. Chuck Schumer is the cause. And your vote is the cause.
We found out that some of these children were working in slaughterhouses in the night. That's what we found out. And oh, by the way, that was from a New York Times reporter.
This is not based on bias if the New York Times is reporting it. Kids in slaughterhouses.
The trafficking of human beings is a crisis. Using human beings as chattel, that is a crisis. Putting people into indentured servitude and slavery, that is a crisis.
In slavery. This is the party of slavery. It's always been. And African Americans vote for the party of active slavery today, 90% of the time. Go tell your friends, African American people, don't come screaming at me for being white and being privileged. Why are you voting to put kids into slavery today?
And who has lied about this repeatedly to the Senate, to the House, is Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
Yeah, that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene called him out for being a liar yesterday. We showed that video. So I like when we bring you the news, and Marsha Blackburn agrees that this is the main news. Alejandro lied to you about the border. Baghdad Bob said everything is fine, everything's good, just like Joe Scarborough. Everything's great, everything's fine, everything's good. And this is about you being brainwashed. The idea that Trump is some kind of criminal, it's all a lie. They're lying to you. And the American voter, it doesn't bring me any comfort that Trump beat Biden, let's say 51% to 49%. If Trump will barely crawl over the finish line, if American can vote 49%, I don't care if it's 39%. I don't care if it's 25% for Biden and Trump beats him. America has cancer. That's a huger problem than Trump not being president. The American voter, the people, have a moral cancer.
And who voted for it? Every Democrat on that side of the aisle that refused to let this trial come forward, each and every one. You are responsible.
Each and every Democrat voted that way, and each and every American who voted for a Democrat supports it to vote that way, to keep Alejandro Mayorkas from getting impeached.
For this not coming to light, it is a dereliction of your constitutional duty and a responsibility, yes.
And Chuck Schumer, he's going to laugh in her face. I'm dug in Exile.